That probably won't happen. And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. You're joined today with your hosts, Shawn Gervais from OrbisX, the ultimate CRM for your detailing business, and Marty, Mr. Marshall Hill from the Pints of Polishing podcast, as well as hyperClean car care products. That's right, your uno, dos, and your trace. One for every year. We got you. But how was your week, man?
Man, the week's been a blast. A lot of accomplishments,
Awesome.
things like we were talking about off air, just business stuff that, you finally can check some things off and start moving into a
That's what it's all about, man.
direction. And,
Yeah.
that's exciting. And we do have releasing very soon. We just put out in the hyperclean specialist group, just put out a little teaser video. And
Shit.
yeah, we got a new product launching here in a couple of weeks. So
Oh, man. That's
Yeah.
amazing, man. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I love the
the
fact
new
that you guys-
video guy. This is what was cool about him is he
Yeah.
put this really like everything was, and then he has this floating bottle, and you go,
Oh shit.
wow, awesome,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
unique, right? Like you never see something so creative and detailing. You go, okay, that guy was just right. It wasn't right. Like and it's not perfect, and it looks like it's float. You just go, nice, well done, man, creative,
Yo, that
unique,
is
good
wicked.
job. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did he come up with that idea, or was that part
Yeah.
of like a team meeting?
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
man, that's
Said
amazing.
he had a string behind it, and then he kind of photoshopped it out in a sense, like.
Yeah. However they do that on the
Yeah.
I'm horrible with video stuff, but I know it can be done.
Mhm.
Oh, that is wicked,
And it's
man.
also a great week whenever you get sent beer, right? Like just as
You showed me that, man.
just as we were about to record, UPS shows up, and Randy, a guy's been buying
Boom.
from us for a long time, but a guy that's also about to get into hyperclean distribution. He started his
Nice.
first order, and he's getting into it. He sent me a whole package of beers, and so
Man, well, fuck. Cheers to Randy, man.
cheers
Shit.
to Randy. Thanks, Randy. This is the Hazy Snake from Good
Hazy
People
Snake.
Brewing Company.
Oh, that's dope. Where are they based out of? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Good People Brewing Company.
like the
Does
name, though.
not say. Does not say where they're based out of.
It's part of the mystery.
Yeah, you would think they would put somewhere where they were located, but oh, here we go. Birmingham,
Okay.
Alabama.
There we go. All right.
Nice. I was like,
Oh,
that
right
seems
on.
odd. I think they would at least put their address, right? Like,
Yeah. That's why I was like, for sure they've got it on there, but Hazy Snake. So what's the taste on that? What's it comparable to?
all right. So what I like about hazy IPAs, I never could used to drink IPAs.
Okay.
Just too bitter, too piney. Like just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
The hazy takes all that out because they use a different hop, and that hop has a little bit more citrus to it. One hop is actually called Citra hop. So there's Mosaic. I think there's like 3 or 4 different hops that have this, and they call them a hazy IPA or a New England IPA or this citrusy type. Usually it'll have an orange flavor or something citrus that goes along with it. People have also gotten into mangoes and different types of stuff. That go into these IPAs, and it's a lot. Their IBU is down, and sometimes their alcohol is pretty good.
Yeah, gets the job done. Oh, that's wicked. And it came in a cooler bag too, so they came cold.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, dude, Randy, thanks so much for the bag too. He's like, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yo, that's amazing, man. Everyone needs a Randy in their life. That's
yeah.
And now that he's a distributor, everyone needs a Randy in their life.
Yeah, everybody up there, get in touch with Randy to get some hyperclean.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yo, that's wicked. Me too. My week was like I was saying off air, I thought it was going to be one of those like hectic, terrible kind of weeks. Not terrible.
What,
no
like
week is
last
terrible.
week?
Yeah,
like fire all last week.
Oh my God, I know. It's like some weeks it's just like I feel like I'm a firefighter part-time or something, but it's one of those things, comes with business and you just deal with it. But today was one of those ones I thought was going to be that way because we had a new feature launch, and anytime there's a few of them actually since Sunday. But anytime there's new feature launches, there's always the potential for something to go wrong. And so fortunately, though, everything was like spot on, which was just flawless, Like you ever have those days you get in the car and every light turns green and all this stuff? You're like, man, feel like you're in the Truman Show or some shit. Like the world's not real. Yeah, that was the last couple days for me, which was awesome. And
Those are
then
the best, right?
oh, phenomenal, yeah. And like even had this massive order at one of our other companies, the printing shop. I was telling you before, we I had a huge order to drop off at this army base. So one of the clients that we have is the Canadian military and different divisions, you know, our Navy equivalent, as well as, you know, Air Force, things like that. Had a huge order for them, huge, massive order. But all the pieces had to be timed because they have this big event coming. This has to be dropped off at this base. This has to be at this base, and so on and so forth, and at very specific times. Like it's the military, so like they're like this has to be there 3 p.m. You know what I mean? Like, you know, 1,500 hours, can't be late. Like it was like no joke. All these different stops, and fortunately, like everything was printed perfectly on time, no errors, which almost never happens with printing. So we had no like excess waste, nothing. And everything got delivered on time. And the best part is the last package I just dropped off myself, picked up my daughter from school. And I said, hey, you want to come see an army base? She was like, of course, let's go. So we went for a drive, took her to the base, and we had to do the whole like secure check-in and all that. Actually, I wonder if I got my ID back. I think so. When I left, I'm gonna have to check that later. But you have to surrender your ID and all that stuff. And then they have these massive, like, I don't know, cage door type things you have to go through. And then these spikes go down into the floor because they're there to prevent you from just unauthorized driving through. It's pretty intense. Anyway, went to drop off the stuff. Everything was just smooth and seamless. My daughter got to see a tank, a helicopter, a bunch of people in uniform, you know, kind of made daddy look like a sissy or something.
Were you ever want to be a military guy? Ever cross your mind?
Yeah, so I used to be an air cadets actually. So I flew planes and stuff like that. It was something I was super interested in. Not so much like infantry type thing, because I've always been fascinated with planes. But I was in air cadets for quite some time. And my cousin James, me and him both were in it. He continued on. He still works on planes, stuff like that. But just took him a different path. He's doing private now, but so he's like maintaining private flights and stuff like that. But yeah, he went so far up north, actually, that to use a cell phone, he has to drive like 2 hours or something for the curve of the earth to hit the satellite. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I mean, unless the earth is flat, I have no idea really. But, but whatever you think, he has to drive to use a cell phone. That's the reality of it. But yeah, so I was going down that path. How about yourself?
No, the only
full stop. No.
Yeah. The only military I got into as a young kid was trying to fight off the Russians that were invading us, you know, back in the 80s, you know. You know, sometimes I'd pretend to be the cowboy shooting the Indians, you know. It was either Russians or Indians. It was all make believe, man, all make believe. Never got into actually even shooting guns, I mean, nothing.
Okay.
Like I think I could shot one bird one time, but just never got into any type of gun, anything.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Never been a thing for me.
Okay. Yeah. Some people, I know what you mean. Some people, they get like jazzed up over, you know, I got like 12 guns. Here's my collection. So yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've fired guns many times, but just not really. It's not like a passion of mine, like going to the gun range or something like that. But
randomly though, I'm extremely good when I went to the range. I'm not so great at like shooting a gun at a target.
Okay.
But throw skeet out there.
Yeah.
I was 8, 9, 10 for like 5 rounds in a row. Like I nonstop shot skeet. Nonstop. Damn.
That's impressive still. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
you know, it's funny.
I couldn't I've never actually done that. Yeah. Like a target, can't hit it. Throw it in the air.
But I think some of it has to do with some of it ultimately was from duck hunt growing up, right? Like playing duck hunt, right? Like,
of course,
played a lot of duck hunt, so you get kind of used to that, you know, shooting the ducks like that.
Yeah.
That definitely was all duck hunt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. But that's a game that can't really come back now, you know, with like the animal rights and all that stuff. I don't know. You think it would sell? I don't know.
I don't know. If you go to the arcade, like we still,
yeah,
my
that's
kids
true.
were coming back, I'd take them to the arcade. We'd love to go to the arcades, and you go to like some of the places now. It's fun because those big places you can do this like pay one thing, and like you just get to
and you just use
that card, and you know you're not supposed to like you're supposed to each have a card, but if you do it the right way, you can all share a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody told me that, right? Somebody.
Yeah. That's what I heard in the grapevine.
That's what I heard. But there they have a big game hunter, and I mean it's
okay.
You're hunting animals. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Right next to zombies, you know.
Yeah, see, me, I love the zombie stuff. There's this arcade thing that's opening up here. It's one of those virtual reality, like you go with your
Oh
friends, you
yeah,
put on the
those are
thing,
interesting.
and you go kill down some zombies and shit.
You see
That's gonna be,
Zuckerberg? You see Zuckerberg throw his thing where he was sitting at his desk and they throw on his goggles and then you went right and then it shows his hands and you're right in the middle of 50, not 50-yard line, but court side at the half court of a game and you're
damn.
watching them play.
Oh
Yes.
my god,
That's what
I
VR
didn't
is
see
gonna.
that.
That's really what
Yeah,
I've always been waiting for that. I always think that's going to be the thing. And I think you won't just buy the seats at the court. I think you'll buy some other seats that are going to be cheaper too. I
yeah,
really
yeah.
do. Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, people do it now. You know what I mean? For real life. You know,
Mhm.
like I've seen some seats and people are way up there. I'm like, how do they even enjoy the game at all? Half the time they're just watching it on the screen anyways. But yeah,
Yeah, but
no,
I
I
mean
think
even
that
VR. I think
no,
you'll
no, I know what
watch
you mean,
VR.
but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think so too, because they're gonna have a capacity limit, how many, you
Hmm.
know, because that way, how do they add value to the floor
And not
seats?
everybody's going to want
You
to
know?
pay for the. I just. Why would you pay for those seats up there when you can watch Zuckerberg? When you would go, well, for the environment. You go, yeah, I get it, but most
Yeah,
people are going to go with Zuckerberg. Well, then
yeah,
Zuckerberg's going to raise his price up so high. There's going to be people that go,
exactly.
well, what if I don't want to sit in Zuckerberg's seat? What if I want to sit, it's maybe
Yeah,
I pay a little cheaper and sit up higher.
exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
wild
Yeah.
world, man.
And then
That's
people are going to
crazy.
buy a seat. They're going to sit down and then they're going to wear their own VR goggle or
Yeah,
camera, and they'll be streaming. They'll have all these people streaming
yeah,
from
yeah.
their seats
From their
because
seat.
they'll be selling their visual as well as sitting and being at the game. Like
It's true.
how you're going to
Man,
pay
that's
for your
wild.
tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I can see that happening though, 100%. The VR stuff is so fascinating to me. And during COVID, oh my God, I invested in this company, Vuzi. Amazing. I made such a good flip on that. I invested when they were like $2 a stock or something like that. And they were not doing the entertainment side, but more the business and commercial side. And they made goggles, but goggles that look appealing, but also had a business practicality. And so I was like, okay, someone's gonna have to train all these people on the vaccine and transport it and all this stuff, but they won't be able to physically be there. So I started looking for VR companies, found this one, Vuzi. I was like, take a shot. I have a good feeling, they're a very active company in the business community. They got awarded the contract with Pfizer to train them on how to move stuff.
Nicely
So
done.
part of it was luck, but a big part was a lot of research I did,
Mhm.
So, but anyway, I sold it at like $26 a share. It was amazing. But yeah, VR, fascinating stuff, man. And that's where, I'm sure it'll apply to detailing in some way, shape, or form. But
I do. I think I I've said
training probably
I've said it.
mostly.
That's what I've said. I've said I want to be
Yeah,
the first VR training. Like
yeah, yeah,
I think you could destroy. You could go into any dealership,
yeah,
any dealership. Here's our training. Comes free with
yeah,
our products.
yeah, yeah.
And every time you get a new guy, they come in, sit with their goggles, and they go through their stuff. They get trained.
Exactly.
You can do
And then they know what to
hands-on
do.
training, hands-on.
Yeah,
Like I could go live into their view. They could go live into the
man.
VR.
You
Like,
got me thinking about it now because I literally get phone calls and emails every day. People
yeah.
asking me if they can come down to my shop so they can get trained, or if they
Mhm.
can, can we do a training session? And like most of it is I can't do it at the shop because it's
Sean,
gonna
there's so
just
many
slow my
ways we'll
shop down so
continue
much.
to be able to work together. You're
It's true.
absolutely right. There's so many
It's
ways
true.
you and I are going to work
Holy
together.
shit. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking into this. I have a product development team in China. I'm gonna reach out and see you know what? Anyway, I'm gonna put some wheels in motion here. That's what
Yeah.
we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like this. But
Mhm.
hey, look at that. See, we're here trying to give other people tips. Now we're giving each other tips. That sounds bad. We're anyway, okay. So I do have a interesting little game to play today.
Oh yeah.
You want? Yeah. It's
How
called
deep is the tip?
Icebreaker. Yeah, yeah. It's pre-tip. So it's called Icebreaker, and it's a cool little game. It's got cards. You pull them out. We usually play this when people come over. They're color-coded cards. Each one corresponds to a different kind of category in life or something like that. And they're just questions like, would you rather, or what if, those kinds of things. Anyway, we usually play with a bunch of people when they come over, especially if they're not familiar with each other, to get to know each other. So I figured we could dive into maybe like 2 or 3 cards, and then we can jump into some tips. But
Terrible
so
idea. I'm in.
terrible idea. Well, as far as I know, you have a monstrous box that we got to get through with cool beverages. So, question 1. What color is this? Green? Okay. If you could create one holiday, what would you create? That's interesting.
That's a terrible one. That's like the other night I asked this terrible question. I thought it was good, and I even read it before I asked it, and I was like, I got a lot of shit for it, and I get, you know, like rightfully so. I asked if you could have one car, any dream car, anything you've ever wanted, have that one car the rest of your life, or someone that would, you know, love and be there with you the rest of your life, which one would you want? And like, I got so much shit about it. I was like, yeah, I get it. Like afterwards, like, you can't ask that question. I was like, but it's a fucking good question.
It's a good question.
And that's what, like, one guy started answering, and he was like, oh shit. He's like, damn it, I gotta go love. And I'm like, yeah, you have to. Like,
you have to.
Can't go car, but there's a car episode. Like, you gotta go car. Like, okay, nobody else. What would I don't know, a national car day? Have to be, right? Like something to do around your car. Let's go. But geez, fuck, I would go National Cruise Day. You could do that right after or right before Earth Day. Yeah. Do National Cruise Day right before Earth Day, and then isn't right after that's 420, right?
Yeah.
So those are 3 holidays perfect, right back and back together. Let's all go cruise, and we'll do something for the earth, and then we'll enjoy the spoils of the earth and elevate ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I thought you were going to say something like, you know, the Uno Dos Tres holiday. It's like the first month on the second week at 3 p.m.
Exactly. Cinco de Mayo is still one of my favorite holidays. My college roommate was born. That's his birthday. So it's
no way.
Still one of my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's man.
Right?
Every year it's like instant party. That's
great holiday to have your birthday on. Not like you were getting a present. You didn't miss out on anything. And everybody wants to go out and drink and have fun. Perfect. Let's go.
Shit, that's fantastic. Yeah. Oh man, jeez, my birthday feels like a wash now. It's just some random day. Jesus.
Mine was the day after April Fool's Day because I played my own joke and came out a day late.
That's it. Yeah. See, you're on your own time. Yeah. That's I love it. All right. Question 2. If you could only keep 3 things from your home, what would you pick and why? And I think the way that's worded is like, if you could only keep 3 things that you have at your house, what would you pick and why?
I would say I've got a little collection of stuff that, you know, I used to travel a lot overseas. And so stuff that I used to get, you know, random things. Like I've got some skins from being on a safari. I've got some shark jaws and teeth from being down at the Cape Town. I got some stuff off the streets of Hong Kong. Stuff like that. I love to just get like random stuff. Yeah. Well, it's not sentimental. It's more like you just see something and go, yeah, that's cool. You know, like that's unique for this area, you know, something that it just kind of stands out, you know, you just see it and go, yeah, I like it. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
So it's definitely that. And then I keep cash. Most detailers, anybody that's in service, you got a ton of cash.
Necessary.
Yeah, I take the cash and I mean, my wife's not there, right? She's out, so let's not say that. I mean, my dog. How about my dog?
There we go. Yeah, that's important too. Yeah. All right.
Dog. Yeah. Ray's a little English bulldog. She'll be 3 this summer. She's finally starting to calm down a little bit. You know, bulldogs are wild for a couple of years. It's not till they get fat, then they'll get lazy. But
and then they're like, that spunk is gone. You know.
But, they're tough as puppies. They're tough.
Oh yeah, jeez. Yeah. How big do they actually get? Like you said, English bulldog, right?
You know, 60, 70 pounds. You know, most of your bulldogs are that. Yeah, Ray's kind of smaller. She'll be 50 pounds. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. I don't have any dogs, so I don't really know. We do have a skunk that's now living under our deck though, but he's gone, or she's gone this Friday actually. I ordered one of those it's like a big tube, one-way door, the other side is a trap thing. She goes into it to get some food, gone. And then
the humane way.
Yeah. And it's supposed to prevent me from getting sprayed. So I'm going to be renting. I'm not putting her in my Range Rover. You're crazy. I'm going to put her in a Home Depot truck, drive her out into the woods somewhere. take it out. So it's supposed to prevent me from getting sprayed. My wife's going to film it in case I do get sprayed. And that way I'm either going to be, you know, a hero or a internet sensation.
If you get sprayed, is she going to pee on you?
I think that's jellyfish. But actually it doesn't even work for jellyfish. But
I just
no,
just thought it'd be funny. Yeah.
Oh, you thought it'd be, oh, thanks. Yeah, I'd insult to injury. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. No, I think it's tomato juice. I think so. I gotta do some more research on what if that happens. I was trying not to because I didn't want to like will it into the universe, you know. But yeah, she's about to get gone. And she must be hungry though, because usually they come out at night. But she's been coming out during the day trying to find garbage and stuff like that to eat. But the problem is we have because of our pool, we have it like fenced in the backyard. So she has no way to get out, and I don't want to leave the thing open, hoping that she'll just leave because then something else might come in. Oh, it's a mess. Anyway, this Friday, we'll see what happens. I'm either going to come out victorious or smelling like skunk. So it can go either way. All right. Oh, this is well, okay. It's a question. If you could get away with a crime, what crime would you commit?
Terrible question. Terrible question. What crime would I commit? Stealing a bunch of money. Yeah, there you go. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Steal a bunch of cars.
Rob a bank or something.
Yeah, rob a bank.
Yeah. All right. That's steal a bunch of cars. Gone in 60 seconds. Yes, sir.
Fast and the Furious. What, 10's coming out?
Yeah, 10.
That's
so crazy. Jesus. I think that's the last one though, right? Like that's where they're Yeah. I'm really hoping so. I hope they kind of wrap it up and let's just go, you know. I stopped watching after 2 or 3. 3, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm the same way. I think Tokyo
and I saw
Drift
part
was
of like
done after that.
8 or 9 or something, whatever. Yeah, one of them. Yeah, I can't.
All right, I've got some what's that? I used to have those around too. When we'd come over, I'd host like I'd brew beer, smoke some barbecue, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
You know, have little parties out on the back patio.
Hell yeah.
What was that? Cards Against Humanities.
That's a good one.
That's going to give us some off the clock type of questions. Yeah. That's going to be a little more fitting. I'll try and remember to bring this next time.
I do have the one upstairs. Yeah, I know, because these are.
Oh, you do have it?
Yeah, but
bring that down somewhere. Next time.
Yeah, because these
Some of these rainbows and Skittles and bullshit.
I wonder if it's the green cards only, because there's different ones. Man, no, I gotta Cards Against Humanity. Like, look at this. What's the best gift you've ever received? Well, it was obviously the box from Randy.
Obviously.
Absolutely. But all right, well, thanks for the answers to the questions there. That was helpful. But so earlier before the podcast, though, we were talking about my order that I had with that army thing that I had to drop off. And one thing I wanted to talk about with you today was how we handle our quotes for that company. It's not detailing related, but the same principles can apply, because what we do is we have a lot of government jobs, and by law here, it's a requirement they had 3 quotes from Canadian companies. That's one of their things. If none of the quotes make sense to them, they can outsource it overseas or anywhere else, but they have to at least try with 3 Canadian companies. So how I landed all of those contracts
overseas, they don't even try and go across the border. God damn it. Fucking trade relations we have with you guys.
Yeah, they do occasionally, but you know, it's funny. Our highest customs would be if it was from the US. For some reason on printed materials. I don't know why. Same thing when I ship, because I shipped all over the United States, and when we ship, we pay higher customs for things if it's fully manufactured. It's almost cheaper for me to set up shop down there, ship down raw materials, print it, and then deliver it. But anyway, that's on the roadmap for another day. But so we got this job. Just dropped off a bunch of stuff, as I was mentioning today. It was pretty cool. Took my daughter to the army base, showed her around, stuff like that. Dropped off these packages, and huge order. And how I get these huge orders with them is I know they need the 3 quotes, so I go out and whatever they're looking for, because even if they're already working with us as a vendor, they still have to ask for other quotes. It's a way of making sort of like a fair marketplace. So I go out and I get 2 additional quotes. And when I send them our quote, I attach those 2 quotes with it. I save the guy the headache, I save him the time. And I say, I know you need to get 3 quotes. I took the liberty of sending you over 2 other quotes. And look at that. We're cheaper. What do you know? So we get the jobs every single time. So we do a lot of print work for the Canadian Army, which is great for us.
Like I listen to this and I want to know, I really want to know this. And so when you put out the post where you go and you put out the post talking about, the episode for today, and here's a little image, please, everybody that listens, go to that post. And I want you to comment inside of that post. Do you find when you heard that you were the guy that was like, hell yeah, Shawn, nicely done? Or were you the guy that goes, oh, wait, so you just undercut it? These other people to get the job?
That's a sensitive.
And I really want people to express their opinions on why they go on one side or the other, because there's a massive part of the population inside of detailing that would go, wait, you just undercut. Like undercutting inside of detailing it's super frowned upon, right? Like there's the $20 guy. Hey, I can get it $20 cheaper down the street. Right. But business is business.
100%.
Business is business. So
business is business.
Why, I mean, I look at it and go, hell yeah, fuck it. Like you already handled for the guy, because we all know this guy that you're sending it to does not want to do any more work than he absolutely has to.
Exactly.
He's always going to do the most minimal work. You understood that. You're going to do the work for him. A little extra work for you, but no problem. You're the owner. You understand the hard work.
Yeah.
You're going to do it anyway. Get the quotes. Hardy already have it done, and boom. The account never goes anywhere because you're handling business, right?
Yep.
Like
100%
sales. So
exactly.
I'm really curious where people fall, and everybody better not fall on I go for Shawn. I like his tips. Like, do not fall for all those extra tips and side with him. Show your true opinion. If you think he undercut people, like, then show your opinion and explain why you don't think undercutting should be a practice that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because my whole thing too is I find people get really hung up on price. I find people look at that and if they see someone else that's cheaper than them, they instantly get upset. That's what I've seen a lot for the people that would not be clapping for what I said. And what I've seen is that they're only thinking they're competing on price. And there's so much more to it. Like for me, there's quotes we've sent out that are literally identical or even slightly higher than the other quotes we send them. But because I just did all the work for him, he's happy with working with us. We got back to him faster, things like that. Then there's other instances where, hell yeah, we got to come in cheaper, because especially with printing, if it's literally identical, like if, let's say I'm printing these cards, if the finished product is 100% the same, what else is there to compete on? Customer service and price. Those are the only two things. So I have to win those quotes one way or the other. And so undercutting, 100%. If you can do it, budget is always something people are concerned about. Absolutely. But that's where I think when it comes to detailing, for example, like I'm not concerned about what some other shop down the road is charging compared to what we're charging. Not worried about it at all. We post our prices, all the kind of stuff, because I'm not concerned that someone's going to, look what Auto World's charging. We should lower our prices by, $30, $40 and win more deals. They're not stealing our customers at all.
So how do you handle people that say, hey, if you're always going on price and being the lower guy, then you're the guy that's just running to the bottom? I mean, how do you make any money?
Yeah, so a few ways. There's the race to the bottom theory. Now, the thing is, though, is that it depends on your longevity as well, right? So there's a lot of factors. When we first started our business, our prices were a lot lower because, number one, we knew we weren't going to be able to put out top tier work because we were still learning our processes and things like that. It was still high quality work, but we couldn't price ourselves in the market as someone that's, got a better process than us or something like that, because we weren't able to, in our minds, deliver the same value. So we started, lower than they did. And a lot of people, when they're just starting out, that might be enough for them. They might only need, $100 a car. So they're like, that's what I need. So if that's their price, that's their price. There's nothing to get all bent out of shape about, especially because they can only deal with so much traffic in a day. Don't worry about it. There's a lot more traffic out there for your ideal customer. So I think the race to the bottom, it doesn't really have staying power in a lot of ways. It's difficult for a lot of people to run a business regardless of their pricing structure. So I think a lot more people go out of business than people that stay in business. That is for sure. And so I think that the race to the bottom thing, it's not really something that happens because it's up to you to set your value. Like maintaining high prices and what everyone's supposed to charge the exact same amount across the board. The minute that anybody tips that scale, now you're in a price war because everybody's focused solely on price. So don't even think about.
But they would say
that's
what you just did.
Yes and no, but it depends. In those instances, 100%, because everything else is identical, right? So, like I said, if it's 1-to-1, everything's identical. Our unique selling position in that scenario is price, 100%. But it doesn't mean it's a race to the bottom because we will have a cutoff of our own based on our profit margins. Like if I can undercut someone's price and still make good
so
money,
if somebody pulls the
done.
maneuver you did, and suddenly they send in a lower bid, you're not gonna come back in lower.
Depends on what our profit margins would be, but possibly, yeah. But the other thing we do too, which could be considered some sort of sabotage or something maybe, but hey man, business is war. When we get headache customers that I know their budget is extremely low or something like that, I know the guy down the road from me takes it, and I give them their number. I even give them their email, and I tell them there's one guy down the road from us. I tell them the owner's name, and I say, let them know Printing Shark called you, and they'll give you our trade pricing. And then when they call him, they say, oh yeah, Printing Shark told me to call you guys, and I want the trade pricing. And I know that guy takes any job that he can get. So when he takes that customer, he's dealing with 100% headaches for almost no money. And guess what? That means when people are calling him and the phone's busy and they can't get a hold of him, then they call us. Done deal. So I don't know. The race to the bottom thing, let the race to the bottom begin, because I'm going to max out somewhere and put my energy and focus elsewhere to get different customers.
So there's a guy that has been put out there a little bit that he's got a little bit of notoriety on a similar statement, but it was around that, he was this elite correction and coating shop. And if anybody called for those interiors or wash vac stuff, he was just going to send them on to the guy across the street that, that they would do it. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about at all. It's the the ones that I did send away. I've done it too. Mine was the worst, nastiest amount of poop and pee. You run into those every once in a while when you're on a car wash. You run into hoarders. You run into people that have their dog that stays in there for you don't know how long, and it's. I know detailers have experience. There's plenty that don't have comments, right? Not that yours aren't bad at all. I'm sure they were nasty. There's no way of saying one's nastier than the other, right? They're just nasty. And you get those, those are the ones that I've sent away. And then we had a car wash that we competed with that was a full service, and we were a flex service, and they were about a mile and a half away. And you bet, we would send them there. Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. And when I've had cars that I didn't want to deal with in the past, I knew of some guys. Absolutely. I'd be like, oh yeah, call this guy. Yeah, he'll do it. Absolutely. He'll take care of you.
100%. Yeah. And that's the trick. And so when it comes to undercutting, like there's a few ways you can do it and not race to the bottom. And I think that's a good way is to make sure that the guys that are cheaper than you, and if you feel they're providing a similar type level of service, send those details there. Boom. Keep them extremely busy with the garbage details, and you handle the kind of work you want to do. And that's one way. But I do think also everything has like ceilings, and the market kind of dictates. So if you find, there's some guys that, I'm booked out 5 months, in advance, but if you look at the actual volume per day, it's like, geez, you're leaving a lot of those guys open to leaving to another shop, even if the price is the same, but they could get it sooner kind of thing. So I think that's more of a fear I would say that people should have versus the race to the bottom with the pricing side of things is their turnover 100%, because I see that more than I do the pricing side of things. Just from real world experience. That's like at our shop, we turn things around super fast. We can charge more than some other place because they're getting different benefits. They're getting the speed of the turnaround time, the high quality work. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Like all of these kinds of things help us justify our price. But if there's some shop sitting there with, like 35 reviews, they've been in business for 4 years, and what does make you better than the guy charging $50 or $100 down the road? What does make you better? Because clearly it's not price, because his price is better. So what else is better? That's what you need to focus on, and then have those conversations with the customer. And you don't even have to bring in the fact that, like, oh, and we're not one of those guys down the road that's, $50. We're going to charge you $400, but it's so much better. Like, you don't even have to jump into all of that. Instead, just sell your value, what you're going to do for them. And then, oh, and our price is X, period.
Here's a theory too, that people should probably think about is, it's not always the horse in the race that's so important. Many times it's the jockey. And the jockey that
well said, yeah.
The jockey that's been controlling chemical guys, man, that jockey's living fat in a Malibu fucking mansion. But what's he known for? A lot of times people bash his products, or they bash the price. Like, oh, I can find this at $5 at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet,
and he's living in Malibu at a mansion.
Yeah.
So it's just not, I agree. Like there's times where I've gone for price, and there's times that you do. If you know that you have a better price than somebody, you got to lead forward. That's sales 101. You lead forward with price and why it's so beneficial on price.
Yeah. 100%.
When you're not, like, there's times to not be, but when you can, push forward. Because if you're right, if you've run your business, if you put it the right way, if you've done everything properly, so be in Malibu on a mansion. Who the fuck cares? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a vessel for making money, period. Like, it's so funny, because the same ones I always see that complain about that will also complain about the price of other stuff, and I'm like, so you're upset that the price of something else is up and you want to buy it somewhere else for slightly cheaper and stuff, like I had one guy, he emailed me, detailer, but he wanted to get some printing stuff done. And I sent him the quote, and he was like, oh, geez, that's $50 more than what I could get done locally. And so I wrote him back and I said, so why didn't you stay with your local guy? Why are you reaching out to me in the first place? And he's like, oh, well, the last guy, he messed up 2 of my orders, and then he took 3 weeks to get the final one done. And I was like, okay, so if you're willing to sacrifice the extra $50 to deal with that headache again, lose my number. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But I'm slightly higher, and this is why, because it's going to get delivered on time. The customer service is going to be there. I personally answered his email, these kinds of things. If that has a value to you, great. But if it doesn't, go with the cheaper option. But it's one of those things that, because the same guy, I saw him complaining about a shop that opened up down the road. Well, actually, I think it was in like 2 plazas down from him. And he was upset because they were charging almost half what he was charging for a ceramic coating. And he was one of those, $4,000, $3,000 ticket guys. And I was like, Jesus, man. And don't get me wrong, there's guys that are crushing it at those price tags. Beautiful. Do your thing, man. And that's amazing if it's working for you.
The 1%ers.
Exactly. But this guy was complaining that his business is starting to slow down, and he was blaming everything on that shop. And I was like, but what if those customers aren't even going to that shop? What if they're just not buying from you? What if they just they saw your ad, called you, and they were like, holy shit, that's what ceramic coating costs? And they were like, forget it. And they just gave up on their wishes of having their car coated. It doesn't mean that guy was stealing your stuff or that he's the problem because he's cheaper. It's just you priced yourself out of the market.
Here's the other interesting philosophy when it comes to business and pricing, and these customers that might bounce on a lower price, like, know your worth, right? But at the same time, study the market. You're an idiot, right? Yeah. There's different sides of it, right? One side that is interesting is if you go, well, if that customer is searching price, is that the customer that I want? Yeah, I mean, you could go through this what's interesting about philosophy and business, right? There's so many different flip sides, but if this guy was going to leave me because he thought that I was too priced and there was a guy down the street, then is that the customer that I really want?
Yeah. And the answer is probably not, but you're not going to change what that customer wants. Yeah. You're not going to make them like, they're shopping for price. Maybe they've got a budget. You can't just convert them into, oh, well, all of a sudden price doesn't matter anymore. Like maybe maybe they have a fixed budget. That's all they have, you know? I mean, granted, with OrbisX, they can now do financing. So, I mean, that'll help. Little plug, but
absolutely.
yeah.
So that is interesting. And I think as the economy continues to falter over the next years, you'll see a much more rise in people needing to finance things. Absolutely. Right
100%.
now, you're seeing here in the States, I don't know what it's like up there, some of the early people that have started to struggle. And I had a conversation earlier today with somebody asking about somebody previous that I had known that went out of business, you know. Well, what happened? I guess got out of community, right? Like, got out of talking with people, got out of, so many people are starting to have problems that, well, they stopped getting information. They stopped talking to people, you know, they just went out on their own island. Like they were going to do their thing and keep their high prices and keep everything. And
yeah, it's funny. My dad always said something when I was growing up. It usually pertained to when my mom was yelling at him to, you know, do this or do that. And he'd be like, Joe, you can't run your kingdom from your castle, you know? And that statement I've carried with me through business because it's true. Like, that's why myself, I'm heavily involved in each of my companies. A lot of people think I just do OrbisX, but I've actually got 7 companies in total, and I'm heavily involved in each of them. But I just make sure that the way I'm involved is very strategic, so I can be equally, you know, attributed to each one. But I do very specific things, and I focus a lot more on the business development side of things, and doing exactly that is staying in the loop on what's happening, what's changing, how's the market going, stuff like that. And that's where things like with this financing, I saw that this was going to be, you know, hugely important. I could have jumped the gun like one of the other CRMs out there and gone with Affirm or Afterpay. But honestly, the rates are shit. Like, they're just garbage. And so I said, you know, plus there's also the fact that they don't like detailing as an industry. So a lot of people get rejected. So I said, okay, so if I have to latch myself onto the side of a ship, do I want to latch onto that ship that's probably going to crash into an iceberg, or choose a different ship that's going to have a long-term potential? And that's where we partnered up with WiseTac, because what they charge is the exact same as if you took a credit card payment. So it's literally, if you're taking online payments now, you pay the same rate, but then your customer gets to finance it either over 3, 6, 12, 18, or 24 months. And some of them are even no interest. So it's, I'm giving them a huge plug right now, because I think people are going to need this in the future. And I'm talking about merchants. Customers definitely are going to need this, but merchants are going to need something that doesn't gouge them on the back end for offering financing, because that just hinders your business even more. But this is a great way that you can, you know, still get those payments. And then now you're changing the conversation, because that guy down the road for $50 or $100 detail, he might not be offering financing. So it's not a conversation of, oh, well, yours is more than his. It's no, ours is, you know, $30 a month, and you get the detail and the ceramic coating. Or you can go to that guy and you just pay him $100 and cross your fingers, you know. It's but yeah, so that's where you got to stay in the loop, and you got to be aware of these things as the market's changing, and, you know, keep up with things.
So another thing that I think people just kind of cross their fingers and hope with is, you know, if I put out a lot of stuff on, let's just say Facebook, right? Like, I put out a lot of information about what I believe and what I'm going through, or, you know, here's who I am. And we just put out a lot of information. We kind of cross our fingers, like, what's going to translate that into sales? Right? Like, if I keep telling my story of, I'm the small business guy and everybody should support the small business guy, and I put out these photos of, look at how much I've had to invest in this polisher and these products. I mean, those are the ones that crack me up. I absolutely fucking laugh. It's hilarious. Hilarious. They want to justify what they charge and justify their business and being in business because they had to buy stuff.
Yeah.
What? Like,
imagine McDonald's.
Get $100 an hour.
Look at this.
$100 an hour scrubbing carpets. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Is that the same as the doctor and the lawyer and the other people that make $100 an hour and what they had to go through? So those are the customers that you ultimately want to attract, and they're not going to mind paying you the $100 an hour. But they're going to look at the bullshit of you putting out these polishers and your pads and your ceramic coating price in your bottle and your gloves, and like, What the what? Like what? It just that shit cracks me up. And I like here's where it really gets is this idea of, and it's more of a farmer, it's more of an agriculture philosophy or story or theory than it is religious. But I grew up extremely religious, so I know it as sowing and reaping. And that's a parable that's been told about, somebody that goes and sows seed, it's going to fall here, There's different parables about, somebody that goes out and works versus somebody that doesn't work, right? There's all kinds of parables about agriculture. And this parable or this theory or this idea around that you need to sow into something and then you'll get a reward for it later. So if you have a hard time selling right now, or your sales aren't going so good, or you have a curiosity for instance, let's say, hey, you've heard Shawn and I talk about Wash Clay Uno. It's an incredible package to offer, especially right now with the economy, with everything going on, personal, business, whatever you want to call it. It's a great time to do Wash Clay Uno. But if you're not having any sales on that and you go back and look at, well, what have you been putting out on social? Has it been the rewards that somebody might get? Like the satisfaction people might get from when you perform that service? Will it be some oohs and ahs around that? Or is it going to be, if you look at your socials, is it going to be the same stuff you always put out? That has nothing to do with what you ultimately want. Now, here's an opposite way of thinking about it for anybody that wants to get out of agriculture or philosophy. You can go to a book called, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I want to say it's the very first habit talks about a lens, and it talks about the way you view things. And it talks about, like, you have to, there's a lot of books around business. It could be one that I read and have talked about recently or listened to from Pete Carroll. And there's different things where you and I have talked about it. Like when you can envision something or think through it, right? Like you'll have a greater chance of that coming into fruition, right? So if you're having a struggle with what you can sell, first you got to start thinking about what it is, right? Just start it going through your mind. Then it's got to start coming out into your social media. Then it's got to start coming out into your talk. Like you want to sell something, start talking about it. Stop talking about all this other stuff. If you want to go into another business, or if you want to go be this other person, then talk about that. Then do that. If you're in business, that should be your life. Yeah, you should have stuff about your kids. Yeah, you should have, but you should always, always, always incorporate parts of your business, and not a show and tell, not to beat somebody over the head, but a discussion, put people into an experience. It's all about that versus I'm going to talk about all this other stuff. How come I don't make any sales? Oh, stupid.
Yeah. It's true though, because we, an example from my own shop, for example, and this is something that I think people should do at their shop is, definitely the variety of posts are important, and always be telling a story, true, but you got to build up. It's like your timeline should be a series of mini stories leading up to the grand reveal. So what we call it at our shop when we do our marketing is everything for us is what we call a gender reveal. So basically how the whole process works, and I guess this could count as a tip today. Sure. Because I know you're going to razz me for it. But essentially with a gender reveal, you've got certain things leading up to the big surprise, right? The big moment where you find out girl, boy, and that's where the message is out there. And up until that point, you've got things like the invites. You're trying to build excitement, get people to come. You're making lists for, people, what they can bring, things like this. There's a lot of planning and prep work that go into something like that. And then there's the big reveal. And so for us, when we're always telling our story, initially, before we, realized what was working, we were just kind of doing the same thing, putting out a bunch of quantity, and we were almost just like verbal diarrhea. Anything that happened in our lives or the business, we just put it out there. And we started to realize that we weren't getting the sales, weren't getting the results we wanted from social. We were getting it from other avenues, but not from social. So we're trying to find that disconnect. And for us, the disconnect came where, like, we do a lot of donations, for example, every year. We were putting out just every month, all the donation stuff. We were, hey, look at us, look how awesome we are. We're so good in the community. All we were doing was attracting more people that were asking for donations. Like, and I started to realize, I was like, holy shit, because when we were thinking about it, all we were thinking was, we want to create this great image of how great we are as a company. We're putting that out there, but we weren't attracting sales. And so we started changing that up, and we said, okay, even if we put out less content, so not as much content, but we put out very strategic content. And so the content we started putting out followed that whole thing with the prep work leading up to a big reveal. And it was always telling a story. So one post would go out, building trust. Another post would go out that kind of leads to or insinuates that we've got some new product to try out, or a certain season's coming, so it's time to do such and such service, things like that. And then we would lead up to the big reveal, which was the gender release. And that was basically, boom, we've got a flash sale on this, or we've got, limited spaces open for this package or something like that. And we tried to center those around holidays of some kind, because that's when people are very active on social media. Now, I agree. I think that like Gary V, Grant Cardone, like all these guys, they've done a great job on social media. Obviously, everybody's heard their names. And they've always told people.
And they have a giant crew of people.
That helps a lot too. And they always tell people, quantity. I don't care what you're posting, just post some shit out there. And so I think that with a lot of, detailers in particular that may not have that creative bone or the time to put together some creative masterpieces, they just kind of throw shit out there.
And yes, because they stop listening to Gary under that aspect, because then he also says the market will tell you if you're any good.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's watching you. You suck.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he's brutally honest on that side too.
Yeah.
And some detailers, which is something that we've done here, I used to put out a lot of content. One of the things Nick did when he came in, he kind of was like, hey, let's hone this back a little bit and let's put out better content. Let's put a little bit more time into 1 or 2 pieces instead of 10 pieces a day. So, we started trying to hone in a better type of content, and you do see better results. I mean, you
100%.
do. I mean, when you can put out 10, or you can put out 3, or you can put out 1, like whatever you do, it should be the best that you can do. And that's what many people miss out on what Gary says, is because, you should put out as many as you can, but the market will tell you if you're good or not.
It's true. And that's where, if people aren't responding in a way that's leading to sales, because ultimately this should lead to sales.
Yeah. Then you need to change up what you're doing.
100%. Like, social media is not just to have a presence. It's not a checklist that, I have a business, I have to have a social page. No, if it's not leading to sales, do something different, period. Excuse me, because not everybody is going to be successful online. Some people are like, I know some guys, they don't even have a website. They don't have social media, nothing like that. They do most of their stuff word of mouth or with print marketing. There's 2 guys I'm thinking of right now. They're killing it with print marketing. And I was talking to them and I said, listen, like, what's the kind of secret sauce you're doing? Because I was looking for ideas for our shop, but then at the same time trying to see if they were interested in doing some online stuff. Maybe we could, idea swap, which is an important thing too. If you want to stay in the loop, talk to other shops and see if there's, but it can't just be a one-way thing. You got to give as well as take. So I do that a lot with businesses. You're like, no. But no, I do it a lot with businesses where, some things that might be working for them. I give some tips on things that are working for us, things like that. But they said that social media stuff, they just didn't have the time to put out the quality stuff. They were just spending a lot of time doing it, and they weren't sure what to post. They were just posting same kind of nonsense like what you were mentioning, and it wasn't leading to sales. Now, for them, they threw in the towel on it, but not because they just gave up in business. They just rerouted their efforts elsewhere. And so you can do that in 1 of 2 ways. If you're posting all the time and not getting any results, you could reroute your efforts to something else entirely, like a different, media form or platform, or you can reroute what you're doing, just like what Marty said, where you can reduce the frequency and put out better stuff and see how the market responds to that. And if the market still tells you suck, try something else. It's that simple. But don't keep going. That's like the definition of insanity, right? Like, you keep going expecting a different kind of, but Yeah, and I mean, shit, ChatGTP can basically write it all for you nowadays. Yeah, which is pretty awesome. All right, so I do have a tip today. Do have a tip.
Wait, another?
Oh,
Because
well,
everybody that's
was
counting, that's
that was just
already two.
I don't know
Like,
if that's
that you've already done two already.
What do you mean
So
tip
we're
count?
going for
All
the
right,
triple
so
tip. Okay.
all right, triple tip, last and final one. So I had a feature suggestion from one of the members of the group, Joseph. Shout out, fellow Canadian as well. Woo, let's go. So don't be jealous, guys. Lots of maple syrup for everybody. But so
Hey, so
Joseph
I started watching a channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
What's it called? Oh shit, barbecue and bottles, maybe
Barbecue and bottles.
something like that. And
Okay.
and he started talking, and then he goes, "Yeah, up here in Canada." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Canada.
Like, here we go. I'm watching now. Canadians cook steak. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Oh, we can throw down in the kitchen though, and on the grill. Oh yeah, trust me. It's so it must be a good show. Should we check
Oh
it
yeah,
out?
yeah. It's a good show. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Okay.
He does a
Bless,
lot
yeah.
of testing of theories, you know, like should you cook it this long for here? Should you do this? Yeah, I'll send it over to you. It's a good show.
Okay, I'm wondering if did he do one with what's that Japanese steak that
Wagyu?
Wagyu, yeah. Did he do an episode with that? I don't know.
I
Maybe
have
he didn't
not.
make it that.
But I haven't studied every single one of
Okay,
his
yeah.
episodes, Sean. I just kind of
Okay, well,
started
here, let me.
watching some stuff on the weekends when I
Okay,
didn't
fair
have
enough.
anything to
Yeah,
do.
I was
So
hoping you
yeah.
took notes, but no.
No, like
The reason I mentioned is because there
during
was a
my
guy.
free time, I watch shows on how to do some other things better, and one of
Yeah.
those is
It's funny. I do the same thing though, and it's amazing how oftentimes you'll learn something that can apply to your main business from something that's completely unrelated though, which I think is pretty cool. That's why I try and watch just random stuff sometimes. Like my YouTube playlist, not playlist, but like the algorithm is all just, if you looked at it, you would think 12 people are using the account, not just one.
Oh yeah, not mine.
It's all over. Not yours? It's
mine's travel, like beaches.
Okay.
I love watching people's travel videos or people walking down through beaches. I don't know why. Because I love to walk the beach anyway. So sometimes I'll turn that on, or I'll watch drone footage where they go over stuff and put it behind music. I will still listen to a lot of techno house music at the house, some like deep house, and they'll put on some music, and then it'll be drone footage going through the islands or something. I watch a lot of that, or cooking.
That's pretty wicked.
Or you'll see a bunch of stuff like from my stepson watching, like Roblox, or he watched this guy named Sunday or something, it's a bunch of gamers and stuff like that. So now that's pretty much it. If you watch our YouTube, that's all you would see.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I got a good video on the Azores Island. This guy that traveled there, I'll send it to you. It's fascinating.
The Lowered, it's techno-y house music with cars driving. So
dope.
Still under that same theory, yeah.
Okay. That's wicked. So is it like first person point of view, like in the car, they're just driving, or
no?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like cars.
Yeah.
Random. Okay. That's
like a bunch of B-roll. It's just cars driving or sitting there, and it's B-roll. They just mix it with music.
With the music, and gives it a nice, like, completes the whole atmosphere for it. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. All right, so shout out to
yours
Joseph.
Is pretty wild and different.
Yeah, mine is all over the place. It really is. But yeah, so Joseph asked for something in the group, and there were mixed opinions on it, whether or not it could be useful or not. And so, as always, I give things thought and think not whether it could be, but how it could be, because that's the biggest thing. Every feature request starts somewhere. Like there's an idea spark there, but sometimes there's a disconnect between how it could be useful to everybody and so on and so forth. So I gave it some thought, and I realized, I said, okay, so we've got the financing, and what he had asked for was to ask the color of the seat in the vehicle that's coming in, right? And so a lot of people are saying, because there is a way they could already have done that there's custom questions they can add to their form, then it's just a drop down. But it's kind of cool when they can see the colors and they can actually, choose from a list, and they see a bunch of seats pop up. They choose the one. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
So I thought, how can I make that, interactive but useful for a business purpose? And so because this just launched this morning or this afternoon, I don't remember. Anyway, it launched today. So how you can make this useful is 3 pieces. One, would be offering financing, okay? Because this can be something that plays into your upsells. And 2 is offering coatings for interiors on certain car color seats. Because certain seats, there's a big problem with jeans or, your kids' crayons and all kinds of shit, especially in the Uber market. So I was giving it some thought. Yeah. And I was giving it some thought. And with the tough times ahead, there's tough times for consumers, there's tough times for businesses, but there's tough times for new type of opportunities. So it might be someone that maybe they lost their job because the company's downsizing, but they've got this, they've got a nice car or something that they take pride in, but now they find themselves having to do food delivery and having bags of food sitting on the seat all the time that might, grease or something, drip or leak, or they're doing Uber, giving people lifts, things like that. So offering that as an upsell is a perfect opportunity. And when you can do that in a way where, oh, it's only an extra, $10 a month. Now your car is covered for X amount of time frame. So that's where piece 1 would be get in touch with Marty. Piece 2 would be sign up for WiseTech so you can get the financing. And
don't get in touch with me. Just go to hypercleanstore.com.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah. RIP your inbox, right? That's yeah. So go to hyperClean.
Don't need to ask me questions. Just go there. Get it.
Yeah, exactly. And so the 3 components
Off
you'll
the
need.
clock. But of course, if you want to ask a question, feel free to ask a question.
Absolutely. So what you're going to want is financing set up so that you can offer this as a quick upsell that's not going to cost them a fortune. And you'll actually be able to increase your ticket prices substantially versus your regular pricing because they're doing financing. So you can say, hey, we're going to increase our prices across the board, 10 to 15% or something like that, because we're now offering financing. So that way the customers don't see that huge increase necessarily because it's only a couple bucks a month extra, but you're going to see higher ticket sales and at the same time start offering new services as well at your shop. And it'll all tie in together with the OrbisX booking form, which you can now choose per service or product which one you want to ask what color the seats are. And there's a nice, beautiful, interactive seat color chooser thing that shows the different common colors. And it's a way that you can tie that in because if oh, this guy's got white seats or he's got tan seats or something like that, you'll be able to pitch him a certain, upsell in that scenario. So absolutely. But on that note too, black seats, we've noticed people complain more about dog hair. So that's going to help us as well. If they have black seats, well, one of the first questions we already ask is, do you have any pets? But this is going to help a lot more when we can lead into that. Oh, I see you selected black seats. And do you have any dogs in the house? Oh, just your husband? Ha ha ha. All right, build rapport, close the deal. But basically, it's a new feature in OrbisX. It'll help out your business tremendously, as well as the WiseTech financing. Definitely sign up for that. Only takes a couple minutes. And go to hyperClean Car Care Products because that'll only take a couple minutes as well and could make you a fortune. I accept 20% commission. Let's go. So, okay, that's the end of my tip. That's it. Pulled it out. We're done. It's just a tip.
So you just told people your tip and then you're going to take 20% commission on what they do? That's some rough tips right there. Like, hey, I'm going to give you the tip and you're going to pay a commission. God damn it.
100%. No such thing as a free lunch. You got it, man. Absolutely. So what would you recommend?
Great tip.
Yeah, thanks. And so what would you recommend someone uses for white seats, for example? What kind of process? I'm always curious.
Process for white seats to clean white seats.
Clean and protect.
Revive, right? Revive, because what makes Revive unique, and I'm going to go Revive over like our APC or, other ones, because Revive you can use throughout the interior. And if it's a white seat, most likely that's going to be on a vehicle that it's going to have a bunch of different surfaces because it's most likely on something that's newer. And it's a good chance that's on maybe, are there some, trying to think, there's some Mercedes. I think maybe I don't know if I've seen a Rover in a white seat. You can definitely, Tesla's the easy one to pick out.
Of course.
Either way, Cadillac maybe, but there's some custom.
Some Mazdas too. The CX-5?
I haven't seen a Mazda. You killed it. I was going to say pretty much everything you found or that I've seen that is white seats. is an upper echelon brand versus
I'd say
Mazda, like you said.
90% of the time. But
you
no, here's the
killed it
thing
a little
though.
bit on the Mazda side, but
But here's
you
the
know.
thing. I've only ever seen white seats on 2 Mazdas in my entire life. And one was the CX-9 and one was the CX-5. But these things, like, I don't even know if these were like out of the box like that. Like, this seemed like it was custom because
Yeah, it was probably custom.
there were
Yeah.
components in the car itself that definitely factory install, but there were components in there that I have never seen in like similar Mazdas. It was I don't know, it had me almost thinking, I was like, geez, I should pick one of these up. Like, it was pretty nice inside.
So definitely Revive, because on that side, that interior, you're going to have all these different types of services, and you really don't want to have a bunch of different products. And when I mean,
it slows you down.
Services and screens. There are some cleaners that you can use on different surfaces, but you can't use them on screens. You can't. And there's some, express interiors that's great. They clean surfaces, but you can't put that express cleaner on a screen. It's going to streak.
Yeah.
So I'm going.
And that's
with
one of the first
Revive.
things the customer sees when they get in. They'll adjust their mirror, look out the front window.
Yep. And I'm going to use our Scrub Monster. Scrub Monster's got a two-sided part to it. It's got a little felt kind of bristly side, and then it's got that microfiber side on the other. Listen, Revive and the Scrub Monsters, you clean so much. You clean so much. Yeah.
Now should we
clean? So
safely. That's a key component right there. See?
I've pulled dye, or people have seen if you spray a chemical on a door, they've seen those run finger marks. So yeah.
So
I don't want that to happen.
I'm going to piggyback off your little tip here. So if someone took an old screen, go to the junkyard, something like that, and they put out a quick little video on the differences, use 2 different products, use Revive and also use some other product.
Like an APC. Yeah.
Yeah. And they show the difference. That might be enough to tip the scales and not worry about racing to the bottom with price when you're talking to the customer. You can say, oh yeah, we're familiar with those guys. Here's the product we use, and here's the products that they likely use. Send them that 14-second video, and it'll help them make up their own decision and come to that conclusion. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, you can get it at the wreckers, man. What would a screen be? Rip it out of a vehicle, like one of those, like $20, and you take anything you want up to certain pounds or whatever. You're good to go. There we go. Okay, I'm all tipped out now. All right. I'll see you next Tuesday, Marty. It's been a pleasure as always. All right, guys, hang in there. Go check out hyperClean Car Care Store. And as always, thanks for your subscriptions to OrbisX. Talk soon.